You know that feeling, right? Lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, and just replaying some painful memory over and over again. It's such a human thing to do, to feel haunted by the past and wish you could just find a delete button for your own brain. But what if the answer isn't about erasing it all? What if it's about changing how we relate to it? Well, there's this incredible piece of Zen wisdom that shows us a totally different way. So, this exact feeling, it's at the center of this really powerful story. There's this young man just completely tormented by his past, and he goes to his Zen master, and he asks him point blank, "How can I erase these painful memories?" I mean, think about that. He's not asking for a hug or some comforting words. He wants a way to surgically remove the pain from his mind. And that question, man, it just gets right to the heart of a struggle so many of us know all too well. Okay, so when we're faced with something like that, what's our first instinct? It's to fight, right? We try to push the memories away, we argue with them in our heads, we try to bury them deep down. But the Zen master, he doesn't give him a battle plan. He doesn't offer some technique for fighting. Instead, he just starts pouring the young man a cup of tea. And right there, a lesson begins that's going to turn everything we think we know completely upside down. So the master starts pouring the tea, and then he just keeps pouring. The cup is full, but he doesn't stop. Tea starts spilling over the sides. It's running all over the table. And the young man is like, "Stop, what are you doing?" It's only then that the master pauses, looks right at him, and says, "Your mind is exactly like this cup." And with that one kind of confusing moment, the real lesson kicks off. That overflowing teacup, it's such a perfect metaphor for our minds, isn't it? Think about it. On one hand, you've got the overflowing mind. It's so packed with past regrets, with anxieties, that there's literally no room for anything new to come in. No space for peace, no space for what's happening right now. But then, on the other side, that's the goal, the present mind. It's open, it's receptive. There's room for clarity. The master's point is so simple, but it's really deep. You just can't receive the gift of the present moment if your hands are already full of yesterday's junk. And that leads to another really powerful image. I want you to picture the past not as something that's just forced on you, but as this heavy stone that you've chosen to carry around in a backpack every single day. The really wild part is that the suffering, it doesn't actually come from the stone. It comes from the fact that we refuse to just take off the backpack and set the stone down. The power to release that weight, it's been with us the whole time. So this idea of not fighting back, of non-resistance, it actually leads to a practical method. The Zen master gives us another metaphor. He says, your mind is like a river. Now, our usual approach, what we can call the struggle, is to jump in and fight our thoughts. But what does that do? It's like stirring up all the mud from the riverbed. The more you thrash around, the more mud you kick up. And pretty soon the water is so cloudy you can't see a thing. The Zen way is the exact opposite. It's about not stirring the mud. It's about just letting it all settle down on its own. All right, so how do we actually do this? How do we let the mud settle? Well, the master lays out 4 steps. They're simple, but not always easy. First, you just sit still. Be stable, like a mountain. Second, you just watch. Let the memories, the thoughts, just come and go. Don't do anything to them. Third, and this one is absolutely crucial, don't judge. This is the big one. You don't label thoughts good or bad, you don't fight them, you don't chase after them, you just let them be. And the last step, you wait. You just have to trust that if you stop stirring things up, the water will clear on its own. The clarity will come back. And when you practice this, when you stop judging, you get to the absolute core of this whole lesson. Here it is. The true source of our suffering isn't the painful memory. It's not the feeling of sadness or anxiety itself. No, it's the constant, exhausting resistance to those feelings. It's that inner battle we're always fighting, telling ourselves, I shouldn't feel this, or get this thought out of my head. That fight, that inner war, that is what's actually causing the pain. And you know what? When you finally stop fighting, something pretty amazing happens. The moment you allow those feelings to just be there, without resisting them, the inner conflict just settles down. All that energy you were wasting on the battle, it's suddenly free. In your life, it starts to flow forward again, effortlessly, just like a river that doesn't need anyone to push it along. It just finds its natural path. So let's go back to that young man. He came to the master wanting to erase his bad memories, right? But he left with something so much more powerful. He learned that the goal isn't to have an empty mind, it's to have a clear mind. You don't need to get rid of your past. You just have to stop stirring the mud so that the clarity that's already inside you can finally shine through. And that really brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave with you. Your past, my past. It's there. The memories are there. They're the mud at the bottom of the river. So the real question isn't, how can I get rid of all this mud? The real question is much simpler and much more powerful. It's this: what mud are you willing to let settle?